Damn, does that mean that I need to sit with that smelly guy again? Tristan said, looking at Colin. Sorry if I don't smell as good as Liam, Colin joked. Maybe you should stop smelling me. As soon as they sat down, the teacher asked them to form groups of 4. Tristan and Colin stood up and joined Liam and Jacob. Liam was pleased that the 2 swimmers felt comfortable working with him even though they knew he was gay. Besides, they were rather good looking. 10 minutes before class ended, the phone at the teacher's desk rang. The caller was the principal, who wanted Liam to come to his office. Liam left the class immediately and walked to the principal's office, where the secretary gestured for him to enter. He was surprised to find Rick, Mr. Timothy, and 2 police officers there. Mr. Green, please sit down, Principal Summers said, pointing to a chair by the wall. Rick was gazing at him with hatred in his eyes. We would like to hear your version of what happened, the principal continued. Sir, do you mean the events today, or what has happened before? Liam asked, and a slight smile came to his face when he looked at Rick. Rick was probably the only one in the room who could see it. You mean that Rick has bullied you before? The principal asked, confused. Liam told the principal and the police officers the whole story about Rick and Eric putting his head under the sink in the janitor's office and attacking him earlier at the lockers. He saw that the principal was writing down everything that he said. Is this true, Mr. Donovan? The principal asked after Liam had finished. Yes, sir, Rick said softly. Tristan had seen the fight at the lockers, and the principal himself had witnessed what happened an hour ago. There was no reason to lie? Why? The principal asked bluntly. Because he's gay and... Rick started but didn't know how to continue the sentence. The police officers looked at each other. You attacked him because you hate homosexuals, the police officer asked. I mean, Rick stammered. He had just realized how bad his statement sounded. The principal soon excused Liam from the meeting. He wanted to talk more with Rick and the officers. He promised Liam that the school would take care of Liam's safety and that he would personally take this case very seriously. Liam was pleased to hear that, though he assumed that he made the promise partly because the police officers were sitting in the room. Later in the afternoon, Liam learned that Rick had been suspended for the rest of the semester. Alex swam back and forth down the 50-meter lane with Eric. Tristan and Colin were in the adjacent lane. The Eastern Regionals would take place the following week, and Coach Hansen had sent the rest of the team home. For the swim team, the regionals were the main event of the spring semester, and the coach wanted to spend the remaining time with the team of 4 that he hoped would win the trophy for Fairmont. Your swimming is pretty decent, Eric said to Alex when they stopped to relax. For a fag, he added. Fuck off, Alex snorted. I hope you are happy now. Your boyfriend just got Rick suspended, Eric said. Rick has only himself to blame, Alex said. Then he pushed off from the wall and continued swimming. They practiced for another half an hour before the coach sent them to the showers. Alex was thinking of Rick. 8 months ago, they had celebrated the end of summer vacation in the big park near their homes. In January, they had eaten cheeseburgers together in Ed's diner for Alex's birthday. Now they seem to be each other's worst enemies? Does being gay mean that you lose all your friends? Be careful with your boyfriend. If you play too hard with him, you might get suspended, Eric shouted to Alex from the other side of the shower room. What is your problem? Tristan asked Eric. I went to the mall for hamburgers with Liam yesterday, and he's a nice guy. Alex was surprised. He felt guilty that he had not taken Liam out to eat. But now he was jealous, because Liam had obviously asked Tristan. Alex was sure that Liam had done it to get back at him. Besides, looking at Tristan, who was taking a shower naked, Alex could understand very well what Liam saw in him. Oh please, don't tell me you're dating him too, Eric said to Tristan. He's quite cute. Maybe I should ask him out, Tristan replied without missing a beat. It took some time for Eric to realize that Tristan was joking. Alex wasn't sure what to think. For sure, he was grateful that his teammates didn't take part in Eric's homophobic ranting. On the other hand, he felt uncomfortable because they were talking about his boyfriend, even though they didn't know it. Eric understood that the balance was 2-1 for the gay guy. He stayed quiet and glared at Alex every now and then. Alex ignored him completely. He kept wondering why Liam hadn't told him about the dinner with Tristan. After dressing, Alex walked to the library, where Liam was waiting for him. The dinner kept bothering him, and he was quiet, even though Liam greeted him enthusiastically. They held hands while driving to Alex's place, but they spoke very little. Alex's parents were not at home. Liam came inside with him, and they went to Alex's room. So, what's wrong? Liam asked when they got there. Alex sat on his bed. He thought for a while and said, why didn't you tell me that you went out to eat with Tristan yesterday? First of all, I didn't plan to do it. He just happened to be there. And it was Tristan who asked me, Liam said, sitting down next to Alex. Besides, I was angry at you, he said hesitantly. I don't do exactly what you want, and you immediately start looking for a new boyfriend. Alex asked, annoyed. Looking for a new boyfriend? Give me a break. Can't I even eat with my friends? Liam asked and raised his voice. Look, I'm sorry. I didn't mean what I said. I was just jealous. Alex admitted. Alex had no intention of starting a new argument with Liam. Luckily, Liam calmed down. He pushed Alex back on the bed and lay partially on top of him. Then he kissed Alex. Is my hot jock jealous about me? Liam teased and moved his hand to Alex's crotch. Don't think you will get out of this that easily, Alex said, acting offended. I can feel that you have forgiven me already, Liam said. He kept rubbing the bulge in Alex's jeans. That's an unfair tactic, Alex protested. But it seems to work, Liam said. They kept kissing. You should stop that. If you keep rubbing it, I'm gonna make a mess in my boxers soon, Alex panted with urgency in his voice. Liam looked Alex directly in the eyes. He didn't stop. They stayed in bed for a long time, enjoying each other's company. This time, Alex's parents didn't surprise them. It was the perfect end for a day that had a difficult start. Liam's usual wide grin had returned to his face. Alex loved it. After they had dressed, Alex took a pizza from the freezer and put it into the oven. It was more or less the only thing he could cook. Liam didn't mind. He liked pizza, and he liked even more how it reminded him of the first time they had eaten together. Alex, I love you, Liam said shyly when they were sitting at the table. He blushed. I love you too, Alex said, and rose from his seat. They hugged each other. I hope we'll always be together, Liam whispered in his ear. The rest of the semester passed quickly. After a tough competition, the swim team came in third in the Eastern Regionals, which was a decent accomplishment. 2 weeks after the regionals, final exams started for everybody except Rick, who would have to finish his classes at the beginning of his senior year. Alex set a new personal record at the regionals. The others did well too, even Eric, who still avoided Alex's company. The feeling was mutual. At least Eric had stopped picking fights with Alex in the locker room after Rick was suspended. The last month had been easier for Liam too. Some senior boys shouted insults at him occasionally, but Liam had decided to ignore those jerks. Alex hated that Liam had to take crap, but he was happy that there was no more physical violence. When the last day of school ended, Alex and Liam walked to the parking area. It was an exceptionally hot day, and Alex wiped sweat from his forehead. They heard a voice behind them, and turned to look. Hi Alex, Sophia said. Hi, Alex replied, not sure what else to say. He and Sophia had dated for some months during the winter, and it had not ended well. Look, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry. I've been acting childish, and I can see it now, she said. I guess I might be growing up, she added, laughing nervously. It's okay, Alex said, still feeling tongue-tied. Sophia hugged both boys. It was the first time that Alex had hugged Sophia for months. It felt good, but it was nothing compared to hugging Liam. I wish you two all the best, Sophia said honestly, and smiled at the boys. Thanks, I guess, Alex said. But we're not dating. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were an item, Sophia said. She blushed. So, you're not gay? Alex shook his head, blushing himself. He was nervous, and not only because of what Sophia had said. He was worried about what Liam might think of his words, which he had said without thinking. But what else he could have said unless he wanted to come out to Sophia? I thought we were an item, too, Liam said bitterly after Sophia had left. I'm so sorry, Alex said quietly. And we are an item, he quickly added. Okay, fine, Liam said, though he still sounded disappointed. And I guess going together to some restaurant to celebrate the start of the summer is out of question. Alex didn't answer. It wasn't necessary since they both knew the answer. They walked silently to Alex's car, and drove to his place without holding hands. I think we need to talk, Alex said after stopping the car in front of the house. I know. I was unreasonable, Liam said. He had calmed down. No, you were not, Alex said. You know, I love you with all my heart, he added. I love you too, Liam said and smiled at Alex. I'm just not ready for others to know, Alex said, looking Liam in the eyes. Could you give me some time? He pleaded. Liam nodded. It was hard to resist the handsome jock, who looked at him with tempting eyes. It also helped that Alex promised to take him to a restaurant and to see a movie in the big mall in Buenos. It was 50 miles from Fairmont, so they were not likely to come across anybody who would recognize them. They made the best of the couple of hours they had before Alex's parents came home. True to his word, the following morning Alex came to pick up Liam for their date. They held hands and chatted merrily for the whole ride to Buenos. They chose the same Vietnamese restaurant where they had eaten during their first visit to the mall. The food had been delicious, and the prices fit their budget. The last time we were here was when I started to realize that I might be gay and have crush on you, Alex revealed after the waiter had taken their orders. I know that we came here as friends at the time, Liam told him, but I imagine the whole time that we were on a date. Alex took hold of Liam's hand under the table, which surprised Liam. In Fairmont, Alex avoided going anywhere where other people might see them together. Now the sexy athlete on the other side of the table was relaxed and smiling. Liam studied Alex carefully, but couldn't understand the difference. I'm curious why you're so scared of being seen with me when we are in Fairmont, Liam said. He saw how the smile faded from Alex's face. He looked nervous but didn't let go of Liam's hand. Liam waited patiently for him to say something. I feel like everyone is watching us, and like I need to watch my every move, Alex said finally. It's because of the Facebook message? Liam asked. Yes, but not only because of that, Alex said. It's also about my parents. I don't want them to find out. Alex told Liam what his parents thought about gay couples. Liam felt sorry for Alex. His own parents were so supportive that he hadn't thought about how that might not be the case for Alex. It saddens me every time I lie about us to somebody, Alex said, adding, and I've done it a lot lately. Liam saw a tear forming in Alex's left eye. He felt the instinctive urge to hug him. He took a firm hold of Alex's hand and smiled. They gazed at each other and, gradually, the smile returned to Alex's face. It will get better, Liam said. At least, so he wanted to believe. Alex worked for the summer in a local property maintenance company, cutting grass and irrigating plantings. Liam managed to get an underpaid job at a small ice cream kiosk at the center of Fairmont. The owner scheduled him mostly for morning shifts, which meant that he had plenty of time to spend with Alex. Liam didn't care about the money as long as he could be with his boyfriend. A week before their senior year started, something very significant happened. Alex's parents asked Liam to come to dinner at their house for the first time. Liam had spent enough time at Alex's place to know Mr. and Mrs. Wesley quite well, but the formal invitation made him nervous. Liam made sure to arrive on time. They sat at the table, and Liam looked at all the food. He was sure that Mrs. Wesley had ordered it from a catering company. Still, he politely praised the dinner like she had made it herself. She looked genuinely pleased. Maybe she wasn't used to receiving compliments about her cooking. What plans do you have after high school? Mrs. Wesley asked Liam after bringing him a big bowl of ice cream. I would like to go to Eastwood. They have a good history program there, Liam said. Alex should go there too. But the athletic department declined his scholarship application, Mr. Wesley said. Fucking faggots, he added. Paul, watch your mouth. We have a guest here, Mrs. Wesley said, glaring at her husband. Mrs. Wesley reminded Alex that she was willing to pay for his studies. She even proposed that Alex and Liam should rent an apartment together or share a room in the dorm. Had she known that the boys were likely to share a bed too, she might not have made that proposal. We're going camping next weekend with Liam's parents, Alex said, changing the topic. That sounds nice. Where will you go? Mrs. Wesley asked. To Ebekin Park in Buonas, Liam said. We used to go there when we were younger, she said, and looked at her husband. They managed to get through the dinner without any big challenges. 4 days later, Alex and Liam were sitting in Alex's car, driving to the park. Liam's parents had offered them a ride in their car, but the boys had kindly declined the offer. They would only be spending one night at the park, so they didn't have a lot of items to take with them. After parking their cars, they studied the map near the entrance. Ebekin Park was the biggest national park in the area, but only the eastern part of the park was reserved for camping. Should we take this route? Mr. Green asked, pointing at the yellow line on the map. It's 8 miles to the camping area, Mrs. Green said hesitantly. Actually, it's almost 12 miles to the best place, by the Ebicon River, Liam said. We should leave now so that we'll be there by noon, he added. Alex was surprised that Liam was so interested in camping and walking in the forest. Mrs. Green, for her part, seemed stunned that they had chosen the longest possible route. Alex offered to put some of her items in his bag, to which she agreed. They walked for 2 hours before they stopped for a break. Mrs. Green took some sandwiches, coffee, and soda pop from her bag. It was silent, almost eerie, in the forest. They had seen a couple of cars in the parking area but nobody since. My parents used to camp here often, but for me, this is the first time, Alex said. Actually, I've never slept in a tent before. You should be warned. Liam screams at night because he's scared of the dark, Mr. Green joked. No, I don't, Liam protested. Don't worry, I'll keep you safe, Alex said. The boys gazed at each other, maybe for too long. They continued their journey and managed to get to their destination just before noon. Liam's mother was exhausted, so the 3 men set up the camp while she rested. Once they were ready, she cooked them a simple lunch. Liam and Alex offered to wash the dishes, which wasn't a big task since they were using disposable plates. Would you like to go walking in the forest? Liam asked Alex, who agreed immediately. We'll enjoy the nature here, Mr. Green said. Just don't go so far away that you can't get back before dark, he added. Dad, we are not kids anymore, Liam said. It was a warm day, but since there were lots of trees and big rocks, they decided to wear hiking boots and pants instead of shorts and sneakers. Before they left, Liam picked up a packet of sausages to take with him. He wanted to roast them over a campfire with Alex, somewhere where they could be alone. Enjoying their freedom, the boys followed the Ebucan River to the north. The further they walked, the more the terrain rose, leaving the water to flow through a valley. Passing through the dense forest was harder than they had expected, and after an hour of walking, both of them were soaking in sweat. They found a small meadow and stopped to rest. I'll collect some wood for the campfire, Liam said. He was hungry already. Sounds good. I'll go down to see if there's a good place for the fire by the river, Alex said. Be careful, it looks quite muddy there, Liam said. Don't worry, I can take care of myself, Alex said, and rolled his eyes. Alex climbed down the steep hill. The view down there wasn't as nice as the one up on the hill. The only thing he could see were the riverbanks, which towered over both sides of the river. He decided to climb up before Liam came down carrying the wood. Before that, since he was already there, he wanted to test how warm the water was. Maybe they could go swimming later in the afternoon. The ground looked solid, so Alex took 2 careful steps toward the river. The third step felt soft, and when he took the fourth step the ground gave way. His hiking boot sank into the thick, sticky mud. He was able to pull the boot out, but, unfortunately, his other boot sank in the process. In a couple of seconds Alex had sunk to mid-leg. He tried to pull his boots out, one after the other, but the sticky clay had a good grip on them. Soon he realized that he was hopelessly stuck. Luckily, he wasn't sinking further. Alex looked around but couldn't see anything that he could use to help him out of the mud. Nor could he see Liam, who was still searching for wood for the campfire. Alex tried to pull his boots one more time, but they didn't budge. He had no choice but to wait for Liam. Come up. I found a perfect place for the campfire, Liam shouted from the top of the hill. I think I need your help here, Alex shouted back. Oh, my big sexy jock is in trouble, Liam said after he climbed down and saw what had happened. Please give me a hand. I can't get out of this shit, Alex said, frustrated. Liam took a couple of big stones and set them on the ground near Alex, so that he could come closer without the risk of sinking. They spent the next 15 minutes trying to pull Alex's legs out of the mud. Then they gave up. Fuck. How am I going to get out of this? Alex cursed. It will get dark soon. Relax. We have at least 3 hours before it gets dark. There's plenty of time to dig you out, Liam said. I just wish we had a shovel. In the end, they used their hands to remove the mud from around Alex's legs. It took nearly half an hour, but finally they were able to pull his boots out. They sat down, exhausted. Both of them were muddy all over. I wish we could clean ourselves in the river, but there's no fucking way I'm going to walk over there again, Alex said. I warned you, Liam smirked. Yes, you did, smartass? Alex said, and thanks for saving me, he added. Always ready to save my helpless princess, Liam teased. Alex snorted, but looked at Liam with eyes full of love. He moved closer and kissed Liam. It began with one kiss, then another, and finally they ended up kissing deeply and hugging despite the fact that they were both covered in a thick layer of mud. Let's walk back to the camp. My parents might be waiting for us already, Liam said. Sounds like a plan? We can roast the sausages when we get there, Alex said. It took another hour for them to get back to the camp, where Liam's parents were reading books and enjoying the sunny afternoon. They had already built a fire. The boys could smell the aroma of freshly brewed coffee. What have you been doing? Mrs. Green asked, amazed, when she saw the muddy boys. We were wrestling in the mud, Liam said, nonchalantly. Really? How old are you? She asked, rolling her eyes. Alex told them what had happened. Then they stripped off their muddy clothes and washed them in the river. The waterside near their camp was mostly sand and small rocks. It was the last weekend of August, so the water was still warm. I would like go swimming, Liam said. Can you swim? He asked Alex. I'm the captain of the swim team. Alex started before he realized that Liam was joking. Smartass. Put on your Speedo so I can admire your ass, Liam whispered. Sorry, no luck, nerd boy. I only have my swim shorts with me, Alex said. Liam was about to suggest swimming naked, but he didn't want to push his luck when his parents were around. Alex didn't want Liam's parents to know that they were dating. They changed into swimming clothes and walked into the water. Alex demonstrated his swimming skills, which impressed Liam. Soon their swimming changed into horseplay in the water. Obviously, this included a lot of groping each other below the surface. Would you like to roast the sausages before I put out the campfire? Liam's father asked. Yes, in a minute, Liam shouted from the water. The sun was setting, which made the forest eerie, full of long, dark shadows. The four of them had gathered around the campfire, which was their only source of light in the darkening summer evening. Liam enjoyed the last bites of his sausage, and the peaceful atmosphere. Liam's mother moved closer to her husband. They held each other, and looked at the stars that had started to appear in the sky. She laid her head on her husband's shoulder. He stroked her hair gently. "It's so calm and beautiful here," she said. Alex could read Liam's face. Were it not for the distance they had left between them, Liam would have wanted to rest against Alex like his parents were doing. It was eating Alex that he didn't have the courage to make the move. Liam respected their agreement. He did not make a move either. And then the moment was over. It was getting darker and darker, so they decided to call it a day. After all, they had woken up very early, and hiking in the forest had made them tired. Liam's parents wished the boys a good night, and then went into their tent. Alex and Liam had set up their tent on the other side of the clearing. Once they were inside their tent, the boys took their clothes off. The sun had warmed the air, and it was quite hot in there. Alex would have left his boxers on, but Liam pulled them down. They crawled inside Liam's sleeping bag but left the zipper unfastened. Alex wrapped his arm around Liam, and they fell asleep. Mr. Green was the first to wake up the following morning. He got out of the tent and walked to the river to wash himself. 10 minutes later, Mrs. Green joined him in the water. They swam and enjoyed the sun that was shining in the clear sky. They had chosen a perfect weekend for the trip. "I think we should wake up the boys," she said when they returned to their tent. "Yes, we should," Mr. Green said, and walked to the boys' tent. He opened the tent door, and saw the two sleeping boys wrapped in each other. He hesitated for a moment and saw Alex waking up. It took a moment for Alex to realize that Liam's father was looking at them. Neither of them said anything for a moment. Good morning," Mr. Green finally said, smiling. Then he left. "Shit, now they know about us. What should we do? Should we just go out like nothing happened? Will they tell my parents? Where the hell are my boxers?" Liam looked at Alex. He seemed scared as he searched for his clothes, and put them on. Lazily, Liam crawled out of the sleeping bag, and tried to kiss Alex. Not surprisingly, Alex pulled his head away. "Something wrong?" Liam asked. "Are you serious? Your parents just saw us sleeping together," Alex hissed. "They know that I'm gay, and they're cool about it. What's the problem?" Liam asked, confused. "I didn't want anybody to know. Not about me, and not about us," Alex said. They came out of the tent after Alex had calmed down a bit. Liam's parents had made breakfast. They ate and talked about the weather, and everything but what Liam's father had just seen. All of them knew that there was a big elephant in the camp. "So, I take it that you two are dating?" Mr. Green said finally. Liam didn't know how to reply, so he looked at Alex. There was an awkward silence for a moment. "Look, I'm sorry for what you saw," Alex said finally, addressing it to Liam's father. "Don't be sorry, dear," Mrs. Green interrupted. "I'm delighted that Liam's got such a nice boyfriend," she added, smiling. "Besides, we've known it for weeks. Hardly anyone could miss the way you keep looking at each other," Mr. Green said. Alex was shocked. Liam's father had just spoken his worst fear aloud. The whole summer, Liam had kept telling him that they could go to movies and eat at restaurants together, because nobody would suspect anything. Alex had feared the whole time that Liam was wrong. And now he had evidence. "Could you please not tell my parents?" Alex asked, his voice full of concern. "It's not our job to tell them. You will tell them when you're ready," Mrs. Green said reassuringly. "Actually, I would appreciate if you didn't tell anyone," Alex said. "Alex, you shouldn't be ashamed of yourself," Mr. Green said. "But you don't have to be worried. We won't tell anyone." Once they had finished the breakfast, the boys went swimming one last time. Then they pulled down the camp, and walked back to their cars. Alex was silent the whole time. Liam tried to engage him in conversation but got only short answers. "Should we stop to eat somewhere on our way home?" Mrs. Green asked after they had packed their bags into the cars. I don't have much money with me," Alex said. "It's on us, of course," she said. "I want to celebrate that you two have found each other," she added merrily. Alex saw no reason to celebrate Liam's parents finding out about them. Obviously, he understood that she meant well. He knew that he should be grateful about it. He wasn't likely to receive a similar reaction from his own parents. The boys jumped into Alex's Mustang. Alex started the engine, and followed Liam's parents to the highway. It was mostly forest from Buenos to Fairmont. Occasionally, they saw lakes. They drove the first 10 miles on total silence, making Liam more and more nervous. "Is everything okay?" Liam asked finally. I'm not sure," Alex said honestly. "It bothers you that my parents found about us?" Liam said. "Yes," Alex said bluntly, like it didn't require further explanation. Liam tried his very best to understand what was going on in Alex's head. To some extent, he could empathize. Just a couple of months ago, Liam himself had been scared about coming out to his parents. What he couldn't understand was why Alex was so upset, even though he knew that Liam's parents were so supportive of them. But they are really cool about us. Liam tried to reassure Alex. I know. I'm just worried that my parents will find out, Alex said. So, all this hiding is because of your parents? Liam asked. Alex nodded and looked at Liam. There was so much sorrow and pain in his eyes. Liam instinctively felt bad for him. He took hold of Alex's hand and squeezed it gently. A slight smile appeared on Alex's face. Liam wished that it was not such a sad smile. I've been friends with Rick since we were little kids. Our parents know each other very well, Alex said. And if Rick finds about us, he will tell his parents. Who will tell yours? Liam asked. He has no reason not to, Alex said. We haven't been best buddies lately. Half an hour later, they stopped at an old diner to eat lunch. The place had seen its glory days decades ago, but Liam found the atmosphere quite cozy. As soon as they sat down, the waiter arrived to take their orders. He was a handsome boy, a couple of years older than Alex and Liam, and had a nice tan. The boys kept checking him out. Alex, I said this already, but you really shouldn't be ashamed of yourself, Mrs. Green said when Liam left to use the bathroom. Alex didn't know how to reply, period. He felt self-conscious and thought that he must be blushing. He took a sip from his Coke. Is there a special reason you don't want your parents to know? Mrs. Green asked. They wouldn't understand, Alex said in a small voice. He felt embarrassed and could no longer look at Liam's parents. Okay, we won't ask anymore. But just remember that you can always talk to us if you want, Mr. Green said. We like you a lot, and we can see that you're very important to Liam, he added. Thanks, Alex said, gratefully. Liam returned to the table, and they changed the conversation to lighter topics. After a while, their food arrived. The waiter flirted unashamedly with Alex. Liam laughed at Alex's confused look. He must think that you're hot, Liam whispered to Alex. Screw you, Alex muttered. Still, Liam could see that he was flattered by the attention. The rest of the trip back to Fairmont was uneventful. However, Alex was clearly in a better mood, which made Liam happy. It was the last day of their vacation, and Liam had enjoyed the summer with his hot boyfriend. Their senior year would start the following morning. Going back to school, knowing that Rick would be there, made Liam nervous. But he did his best to hide it. As soon as the boys arrived at Alex's house, they took advantage of the fact that Alex's parents were not at home. After spending a couple of hours in Alex's bed, Alex drove Liam home. The summer was officially over, and then their senior year started. For the first 3 weeks, school kept both boys busy. They sat together in every class that they shared, and made every effort to meet during lunch breaks. Soon, Tristan and Colin started to join them at their table in the cafeteria. Most students had forgotten that Liam was gay. Or they just didn't care? The rumors about Liam dating Alex had also died. Things would have been perfect except that Rick was back at school. After losing his girlfriend and being suspended, Rick's attitude toward Liam was becoming more and more hostile. Still dating that fag, huh? Rick said, shoving Alex's shoulder. The swim practice had just ended, and the team was taking a shower. Still dating your hand? Alex replied, imitating jerking off with his hand. The rest of the team burst out laughing. Better a hand than another guy's ass, Eric said, trying to help his friend. Is there something wrong with my ass? Colin asked. Tristan couldn't help giggling. Rick stormed out of the shower room. Eric followed soon after. Alex was happy that his teammates didn't share Rick and Eric's homophobic views. What worried him was that Rick was getting more and more provoked as the team kept laughing at him. He expected some reaction sooner or later. Has Rick caused you any trouble? Alex asked when he picked Liam up for school a couple of days later. No, I've hardly seen him lately, Liam said. Rick knows that he will be expelled if he tries something. Yes, he knows, Alex said, but he wasn't convinced. 2 more weeks passed without incident. Rick and Eric used every opportunity to insult Liam and Alex, but they never made any physical threat. Whatever they said, Liam let it go in one ear and out the other. Alex, on the other hand, seemed more stressed with each passing week. Is something bothering you? Liam asked as they were sitting on Alex's bed one Sunday evening. It's nothing, Alex said. No, it is something, Liam said. I can see that something is wrong. Alex sighed. I'm so worried that somebody will find out about us, he said, looking at Liam. Liam had expected that. He knew that Alex was scared of his parents' reaction and didn't want to come out to them before he had moved out of their home. Liam understood, but he felt helpless. I love you so much, but I didn't realize that dating you would be this difficult, Alex said. I'm tired of being scared all the time. Are you saying that we should break up? Liam asked, his voice full of concern. No, I just wish high school would be over. so I could leave this place, and all these people, Alex said. Liam hugged his boyfriend. It wasn't enough to make things right, but it was all he could do. They still had to survive another year. When Alex came home from school the following Tuesday, there was a surprise waiting for him. Rick and the Donovans were sitting in the kitchen. Alex's mother was just pouring coffee for Mrs. Donovan. They all turned to look at Alex. "Hi honey, where have you been?" Alex's mother asked. "I drove Liam home," Alex said. "And then we did some homework at his place," he added, though it was a lie. Alex saw Rick's expression when he mentioned Liam. He ignored his former best friend and greeted Mr. and Mrs. Donovan. Then he reluctantly sat down at the only empty seat, which was next to Rick. "You mentioned on the phone that you needed help with something," Alex's mother said to Mrs. Donovan. "Well, you're a lawyer. I need some legal advice," Mrs. Donovan said. "Work-related," she added. Rick's mother was the director of a Christian kindergarten that operated in close connection with a local church. Rick's father was a minister in that church, and that is where they had first met, many years ago. Many people in Fairmont knew Mr. Donovan as Father Donovan. "This is confidential then," Mrs. Donovan said. She looked at everybody in the room. "I found out that one of my employees is homosexual," Mrs. Donovan said, as if merely uttering the sinful word would make her dirty. "I want to get rid of him," she added bluntly. "And where exactly do you need my help?" Alex's mother asked. "I need you to tell me how to fire him. I don't want those homo activists protesting in front of my office," Mrs. Donovan said. "I think we'll find a way to do it properly," Alex's mother said. "Seriously? Is it legal to fire somebody just because he's gay?" Alex asked. "Honey, I'm sure you agree that such a lifestyle can't be promoted to small kids," Alex's mother said. Alex nodded, though he didn't agree with his mother. He was shocked that he had even asked the question. The words had come out of his mouth before he could think. Still, he was even more upset that his mother had offered to help Mrs. Donovan to get rid of an employee who happened to be gay. "Would my mother also help somebody to fire me?" "Of course Alex understands that. He's just getting bad influences at school," Rick said, nonchalantly. Everybody turned to look at Rick. Alex closed his eyes. He knew that the moment had come. All hell would break loose, and there was nothing he could do to prevent it. He just counted the seconds. "You didn't know that Liam is homosexual," Rick said, pretending to be surprised. 9. A total silence fell on the room. Nobody knew how to react to the news that Rick had just shared. Alex looked at his parents. His mother looked confused. Alex wasn't sure how to read his father's face. It was a combination of surprise and disgust. "Maybe we should continue this later," Alex's mother said to Mrs. Donovan. They finished their coffees, and then the Donovans left. Alex helped his mother clean the table. He put the dishes in the dishwasher, avoiding any conversation with his mother. Then he sneaked upstairs to his bedroom. Soon his mother appeared at the door. "Is it true, what Rick said?" she asked. "Liam is gay, if that's what you mean," Alex said. "Is that a problem?" He added with slight irritation in his voice. "You're old enough to choose your friends. And Liam seems to be a nice boy. He's polite and takes his studies seriously," Mrs. Wesley said. Alex was surprised. He had expected a different reaction from his mother. "Just be careful. Maybe you don't want everybody to know that you have such friends," she said. "People are talking, you understand that," she added. "I do," Alex said. He didn't agree with her, but he did not want to continue the conversation either. The following evening, Alex heard his mother talking on the phone. He assumed that she was talking with Mrs. Donovan. He heard her explaining how religious organizations could expect their employees to follow certain moral codes in their lives. Certainly the homosexual lifestyle was in contradiction with Christian values. You can argue that it's a Christian kindergarten, where small children shouldn't be given examples of homosexual relationships. Mrs. Wesley said into the phone. Would she say that if she knew about me? Alex thought. What his mother was doing made him want to vomit. Alex felt that he was being pushed farther and farther into the closet, and there was no way out. He would soon find himself in Narnia. "Liam didn't come with you?" Mrs. Wesley asked after she finished the call. "No, he had too much homework today," Alex lied. It had been Alex who told Liam that they could not hang out after school that day. He had told Liam the same lie about having too much homework. In reality, he felt uncomfortable inviting Liam into his house now that his parents had learned that Liam was gay. "Maybe it's good not to spend too much time with him," Mrs. Wesley said. Alex didn't say a thing. He just rushed to his room and slammed the door. He sat on his bed and cried. He had felt completely lost when he was dating Sophia. Now that he had found someone he could love, the whole world seemed to be against him and Liam. Maybe he was just overreacting. His cell phone rang. It was Liam? Alex wiped his tears and answered. It was comforting to hear Liam's soft voice. Alex's body filled with happiness, which disappeared just as quickly when Alex understood what Liam had asked. "You would like to go to circus tonight?" Alex repeated the question to buy some time. "Yes, I know you have a lot of homework, but it's only here today. The show was nearly fully booked, but I managed to get us 2 tickets, Liam explained enthusiastically. I'm not sure if that's a good idea, Alex said. Oh, Liam sighed. Alex heard the disappointment in his voice.